on the questions of.
We are live now, so good day, dear friends. We warmly welcome you to this episode of Managing with the Heart, a series of interactions between two brilliant minds who not only excel in their chosen fields, but have devoted much of their lives in helping others achieve that as well. We have with us Mr. Kamlesh Patel, lovingly known as Daaji, who is the global guide of heartfulness movement and a silent change maker, teaching and guiding millions to meditate in the heartfulness way in over 160 countries. Along with him, Dr. Ichak Adizes, a world-renowned management consultant, having served some of the major corporations and country leaders, and an author with 26 books translated to 36 languages. Himself also a heartfulness meditation practitioner and trainer. In addition, we welcome our very special guest for this episode today, Professor Bala V Balachandran, a distinguished professor of JL Kellogg and founder and chairman of Great Lakes Institute of Management, a stalwart and an icon in the field of management who has led education and has served as consultant and as board members to various prestigious companies in India and abroad. A very hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank
They
you.
will together explore the subject of managing with the heart and how to integrate spirituality with business. Of course, it will remain applicable to family and personal life too. We reiterate that this show is not pre-recorded and is actually live. So please feel free to post your comments or questions, which will be taken up hopefully. We now set the ball rolling and request Dr. Adizes to please shed some light on managing with the heart. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Harpreet, everyone. In the previous sessions, we had about 4 of them. We were exploring spirituality and business and whether they're incompatible or compatible. I think we are making one step forward now. We're not even asking that question if they're compatible or incompatible. We are assuming they are compatible. That's why the title of the forthcoming sessions is Managing with the Heart. So we are already accepting they are going to be going together. Now the question is how? How do we manage spiritually? Not whether, should we, can we, how. The focus is not on the why, not on the what, but on the how. And that's why we are going to now start looking at some tools, I suggest, that should help us manage spiritually. And the word management does not mean just managing a company, I suggest, but managing ourselves. Because we also have a conflict between business and spirituality in life. Many of the executives that I work with complain that they don't have a balanced life. Well, that's exactly the same thing, spirituality versus business. What do you do with your family? What do you do with your values versus when you're chasing money? And also it applies to how do you manage your family? How do you manage a company? How do you manage a country? And I work with several, next week I'm giving a whole day to a cabinet of a certain country, I cannot disclose which, the same problem appears itself. So how do we manage anything spiritually? And I would like to put the word spiritually not as a religion, but as a value system. How do you manage with a value system when business might ask you sometimes to violate your values in order to make more money? So that's the focus on how. So let me start asking Daaji if you have something, and we'll go around. We're giving some advice to people, give them tools how to do that.
I think life becomes meaningful whenever we use heart in anything. We get to a proper profession of choice, which is determined by your heart. I love to study such and such a subject. It's a matter of heart. You marry someone to spend the rest of your life. Matter of heart. You involve heart with it. In the beginning, though, the industry we start or businesses we start or the job we undertake may have the requirement for money. For financial reason, I work. For financial reason, I do the business. Perfectly fine. But when I use my heart, the workload that downs on me because of this work, the impact of this load goes away because of this heart. Heart means I do things as if it's mine. My heart is involved. So I give you a small story, share with you a small story. Why we should treat everything as if it's mine. Mine means I treat this person or this process or the company I work with or people who are associated with me as mine, as my heart. We are all one in together. We are working together. We spend so much of time together, more than the time we spend with family at home. We spend more time in the offices, in the industries, outside. We go home only to sleep, it looks. On 24-hour basis, we are hardly at home with big open eyes, 4 hours perhaps. Count it. How should we spend rest of our lives in the offices with? When I belong to office and when I consider office as mine, there is synergy. I wanted to share a story when Napoleon was returning back to France. He was returning with so much of treasure. One of the foot soldier who was carrying the treasure on his shoulder bag, he slowed down. Napoleon was going back and forth on his horse, trying to see if anyone needed help. Well, out of his some funny joke kind of a thing, he asked the soldier, "Why are you so slow?" He said, "Sir, it's so heavy. I can't carry it. I get tired very fast. This load is a bit too much for me." Napoleon said, "Take it as yours. I give it to you." You know what happens to a soldier? He jumps up. He becomes alive. He becomes full of energy because this treasure is mine. So when we make anything as mine, this is mine, I own it, even though you may be working, but the work I own, quality of work, it depends on in my hands. I love to do it. If you don't love it, you will get tired very fast. It is for your good. If you don't love it, make sure you start loving it. And if you, and by faking it, one day you'll make it. So love is the key. Love is the key, Dr. Adizes.
Thank you, Daaji. Dr. Bala, how about your take on this? What would you say? How do we manage spiritual
I really think, thank you very much, Dr. Adizes. I really think Daaji has set the stage of there is something called WIFM. That is what is in for me. All right. We have never said everything is me, myself. The pradhanyam is for self. I really think I want to share a point, and I see why heart and my brain or the mind are different things. The brain can be manipulated by yourself. The heart cannot be manipulated. Both are yours. The heart, you cannot play. You even cheat yourself. I will tell you, because Daaji gave a story, I will tell a small story. Just in a block of people, when the COVID was there in India, they all wanted to pray to Lord Ganesh temple. So everybody said, tomorrow we are going to do an abhishekam, that is to God, the thing, and each one should bring a glass full of milk and put it in that funnel. It will be locked in the night. You put it there, tomorrow morning we are going to do it. So each person thought everybody is going to bring milk. What is wrong if I bring water? All right. So, but there was one guy who was sort of a mentally deranged, but a decent guy. He brought a full gallon of milk from the stores and left it outside where the milk was collected through the funnel. So when everybody thought same way, the whole block, the whole pot was full of water and no milk. And that is, if you see that, those who had the brain were able to cheat even God and gave water instead of milk. Whereas this person who is a mentally deranged a little bit, but a very nice person, was not corrupted by the brain. His heart decided to bring and give to the Lord the milk, and it was there. So I really feel when we commit that I want to wake up at 7 o'clock and set the alarm, and then the alarm does its job precisely at 7 o'clock, and we wake up, but we don't get up because the brain says you can sleep another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes. So somehow there is a snooze button. I think there should be a clock where no snooze button should be there. If the snooze button is there, I will use it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I get up 2 hours late. So when you really mean 8 o'clock, why do you said, and who said it? You. Who did it? Your brain. And your brain wants to cheat yourself. When you are cheating yourself, how are you not going to cheat the society? And when you make a statement, and he's a CEO, I am going to have 100 crore profit next year. Why should I believe him? The guy cannot even get up. Whereas Daaji said 7 o'clock I will be there. I thought he is going to go there for a 7:30. Why is he going to come? I am in the hotel. Pearl. 7 o'clock he was there. I was there 2 minutes before 7 o'clock. So the point is brain can be manipulated even by yourself for your selfish interest. Whereas your own heart loves, as he correctly said, heart cannot be manipulated. So I really feel if we focus on heart, that is why the God resides in the heart, not in the brain. If God resides in the brain, it will be more corrupt, whereas it is residing in the heart. And so he is pure because of heart is there. You focus on the heart, you become pure, and you won't cheat yourself. If you don't cheat yourself, you will not cheat the world.
Thank you, Dr. Bala. Since both of you gave a story, I will give you my story. I've been struggling all my life with the word love. And when I met Chariji, I told him, here is my take on what is love. Life is give and take. Love is in the giving is a taking. So when you love your children, you don't make an account, how much are they giving me back because I'm giving them. And Chariji said, wrong. So why wrong? He said, you're still making a profit and loss statement in your head. How much am I giving? How much am I getting? So in the love is in giving and the taking at the same time. You're still giving and taking. Love, which is the heart, as different from the brain, does not do profit and loss statement. It's absolute. When you love, you don't think, what am I getting back? Or am I getting it later or now or when am I getting it back? There is no getting back. It's absolute. That made me think a lot. The difference between the heart and the brain. In the brain, we do profit and loss statements all the time. Should I do it? Do I do it? How do I do it? In the heart, it's absolute. When you fall in love with somebody, you don't do a profit and loss statement. There is a difference between love and like. You like because of. You love in spite of. I just love you. I don't know. I just love you. Now I use this. Now here is my story. Years ago, when I was younger, I used to teach yoga. And then I realized something very interesting. How people manage their body, that's how they manage their company. And I had 40 presidents of companies in YPO in Denmark at a university. And I told them, you know what, today I want to teach you management through yoga. I said, okay. So they stood there, they're doing the postures, and I will tell them how they're managing their company through their body. And I'll give you the example so you see what I'm talking about, life, breath, and heart. There is a certain posture, it's called head to knee. You have to put your foot on the ground, and it has to be like a column. You don't bend your knee. You don't bend your knee. Then the other leg you lift up, you grab your toes, and you try to bring your head to the knee. That's it. And look what people do. As they try to get to the goal is to bring your head to the knee, right? They start bending the knee, the standing knee. And I tell them, you know, guys, you bend your values to make more money, don't you? You will bend your values. I told you, don't bend your knee. The knee, you don't bend, there is no profit and loss statement in values. You don't make any, if somebody, I ask you, why do you love that person? Let me tell you why I love him. I say, you don't love him, you like him. Your answer should be, I don't know why, because I do. It is absolute. So when we manage with the heart, you must have some absolute values. You don't ask how much am I getting out of it. It is who I am, here is what I believe in, and that's what I do, period, no more discussion. I will try to get my goal without bending my knee. Don't bend your knee. So I did not reach my goal. What the goal is, the best you can do under the heart. Don't sacrifice your heart for the brain. You go with the brain, but within the heart. The heart is absolute. And that will be my next thing, how to do it, but I don't want to take over. So there is a way how to do that. How do you do that? You look for your goals, but without bending your knee, without bending your values. So the heart still has to be, I don't know whether it's a constraint or not, but it is something within which you activate everything else. Anybody else has any other insights before we continue? Because I have another tool how to do that. What do you say, Daaji?
Well, bringing back this aspect of management and using heart, let us see a person who manages the company, but he doesn't own the company. How responsible he will behave and act with that company. How responsibly will he act and behave? Doesn't own the company. So when he uses the heart, then the ownership is redundant. But when he doesn't use the heart, then the problem can start. And most of us, I mean the general humanity, they all work for the fulfillment of one thing, financial need. Whether we work with the heart or without the heart, definitely you're going to get your salary. But a person who works with the heart, he's distinguished. There will be some flavor in this person's touch in the work. The way he will manage the company, the way he will bring joy in working together, where he honors each and everyone, where he has respect for other people, where he's using the heart in management. Though money is there, whether you work with heart or without heart, money will come. But involving the heart changes everything. It makes you happy. We all want to become happy. This is the key, I think, involving heart in everything we do. So when we are cooking for the family, making a meal, making a dinner for the family, imagine at every little gesture you have to curse somebody. You become angry. You have to throw things. Then how will that dinner taste? Your wife will say, I'm having a headache, honey. I will eat later. Your children will say, Papa, I will join you later. I'm busy. I have some interview or some phone call. They will all try to escape from the meal that was made with so much of anger and dislike. But when you make it with so much of love, even a person who is not hungry, one person who is lost his appetite, even an overweight wife will say, today I will go to eat. Isn't it? So love changes everything. In marketing also, there are people who make faces. But if you are genuine about the product sale and you use your heart, be authentic about it. Say exactly what it means, positive as well as the negative, with the heart involved. I think you can become the best market salesman.
Dr. Bala.
I think this is a very important point. Love and life. I always say, analyze by your mind or brains, but decide by your heart. Analyze by your brains, and I call it as SMS. SMS is, everybody knows, but I have a different SMS. Yes is yes, you need all the science. For example, how do we take care of this COVID? All the science, medical science, management science, social science, every science, knowledge, data, everything that is the first yes, that is the brain's work. But the brain will try to see how can I take care of the bottom line. So what is the rate of return? So as a matter of fact, even in something called a movie, which is a James Bond movie called Casino Royale, somebody asks villain, do you believe in God? He says, I believe in a reasonable rate of return. So the guy thinks in not on love, but on brain. So the second M letter is for meditation. But if you meditate, whatever the way you want to meditate, I really like the heartfulness meditation. It changed my life. But if you take whatever meditation you are doing, then what happens is the knowledge that you got from that, from knowledge, it becomes intellect, and the intellect is inside your heart. So the heart decides. When the heart decides, love dominates, not life. When brain dominates, life decides, rate of return decides. And that's why in Bhagavad Gita say, Karmanyavadikara say, Ma paleshu kadachana. Don't expect the rate of return. Your job is to do your duty. So make the job, eliminate the word be, brain, and put the word Y, joy. Make the job a joy. You will love it. You will automatically, the return will come. The return should be a consequence, not return should be the driver. The heart should be the driver. Brain is the analyzer. The two together create the last yes, some spirituality. So based on science and knowledge, you think, use your brain, then transform it to your heart. That will make sure truth, transparency, and trust will come with love. With love, you are not only helping yourself and you are joyous, something like you don't need to remember a truth because truth will be there. If you lie, then you have to remember what did I lie? How much? So you have to worry about remembering. Now, the heart and truth are identical and therefore transfer it to truth and a little bit of spirituality. I also want to say, in the long run, I go, you go, why ego in between? And similarly, if your ego is bigger than your logo, then you go, you get out. And not only that, in the long run, nothing comes to us. All of us are going to be called first name dead, last name body, Christians, Jews, Hindus, Muslims. So when that is the case, we are going to be a dead body, everybody having the same name. Why should we hoard and hide and cheat and then build wealth? So I want you to learn a lot. And then after learning a lot, earn a lot. And then after earning a lot, return a lot into Heartfulness Institute or whatever charitable organization which brings peace uniformity, harmony to the world, get there. And that can come only with love. And the driver for that love is nothing but heart and not the brain.
Thank you, Dr. Bala. Let me take it from where you ended. I look at the conflict between business and spirituality analogous to brain and heart. The difference between the long run and the short run. Heart is long term. Heart is not something of the short term, I feel this way, this right now, but tomorrow I feel different. It is something for your life. Brain, which is business, can change from day to day depending on what's going on. Now, we know already from management theory that when we're in conflict between the long and the short usually takes advantage, and we will follow the short run and sacrifice the long run. And that's what happens with people. They see an opportunity here, values will take care of themselves later on. And that's what the problem is. Because eventually, the long term will arrive. And some people, 5 minutes before they die, they say, wait a moment, where did I spend my life? And they feel they did not really live their life. Why? Because they forgot the heart. Or it happens to you in business. You chase something. There is a story about a lawyer who was working very, very hard, very, 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 very hard. Finally, he made a partner. He went home, tell his wife, guess what, honey? I met a partner. And she says, and here are the divorce papers. What happened? He lost his family. He was working so hard. So now let me ask you, was it worth it? How many times we do something, we chase something, and we arrive there, we say, wait a moment, was it worth it? Why? Because we forgot the heart. But how do you do that? That's I want to address what Dr. Bala was saying. I believe you cannot make a decision at the same time, heart and brain. You cannot. You will be confused. Because the heart is emotional. You listen to the heart. You talk to your brain. That's where you do your cost-value relationship. Is it worth it, not worth it? What should I do? Emotions get in the middle. You cannot use the logo, as you said. And this is how I solve this problem when I train managers. I say, do it in a sequence, not simultaneously. You will be confused. You start with the heart. There is an opportunity or there is a problem. Don't think. Just don't think that you will be confused. Listen to the heart. How does it feel? How does it feel? Like you meet somebody. Do I like the guy? The heart talks to you right away, by the way. The first 3 minutes are very important. There is a problem. How do I feel about the problem? There is an opportunity. How do I feel about the opportunity? Feel. Just feel. Now go to the brain. Yes, I want to do it. Now, okay. Heart, be quiet now. Brain, cause-value relationship. You finished doing all this, go back to the heart. What did you decide to do it? How does it feel? Do you still feel good? Sometimes you see, you do cause-value relationship, beautiful balance sheet, beautiful profit and loss, but it doesn't feel right. It just does not feel right. What should you do? Don't do it. Don't do it. Because the heart never lies. The brain is not you. I always say, what you think is not you. What you think is impacted, what your parents told you, what your wife told you, what your husband told you, what your children told you, television told you, newspaper told you. What you think, maybe a little bit is you. All the rest is not you. The heart is you. The heart is you. So you do the cause-value relationship. You finished, close your eyes, meditate and say, hello heart, tell me, should I do it or not? The heart will tell you. And even if the profit is there, the numbers are right, it does not feel right. Warren Buffett says, Even the best business is a bad business with a bad partner. So here you did, Prophet tells the partner is good, but the heart tells you it's a bad partner, don't do it, you feel it, you don't do it. Don't do it. So it goes heart, brain, heart. Then they are together. At the end of the day, I agree with Dr. Bala. The heart should win. Don't go with the brain. Because if you go with the brain against your heart, the heart tells you don't do it. Or do it. Do it. You know what? If you don't listen to the heart, down the road, you will pay the price. Because it's going to tell you, oh, I should have listened. I should have listened. Some people call it intuition. The intuition tells you don't do it. Listen to your intuition. Listen to the intuition. There is a reason why something is telling you not to do it. You don't know what it is. It's mathematics, it's called lambda, unknown factor. There is an unknown factor in the formula. We don't know what it is, but it's playing a role. So listen. That's how I look at it. There is one more tool I want to share, and then I will pass it further. How do we manage when there is a conflict, what the brain tells you to do, and the heart tells you to do something else? And that's a conflict that we all the time have. I want to do this, but I don't want to do that. But I want to do this, I want to do that. How do I handle it? Amitai Etzioni, a very famous sociologist 40 years ago, said something very interesting that I use very much in my consulting. There are two types of goals. People ignore that. They think there are goals. No, no, no. There are two types of goals. There are deterministic goals, what I want to achieve. More money, less cost, whatever it is, more or less. I want to achieve something. That's called deterministic goal. Constraint goal is what I don't want to violate. Like, I want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to get sick. I want to have a lot of sales, but I don't want to have bad debt, or I don't have a rejection. I want whatever. There are always limitations. The problem is that people make only deterministic goals as their goal. And then when they achieve the goal and they violate something, they say, oh my God, it was not worth it. I achieved my goal, I lost my family. I achieved my goal, I lost my health. I achieved my goal, I lost my mind. Always ask, what is a deterministic, what's a constraint? I want to have so much sales, but I don't want to have, bad debt or, rejected, bad, not paying some people. So I'm always watching the two. Opa, I'm having too many bad debt. Opa, I'm selling to too many marginal people. Reduce the sales. Watch out this. You're always watching the two, always watching the two. The problem is that we have to ask ourselves the question, and here is the problem. Is spirituality the deterministic goal and money the constraint goal? Or is money the deterministic goal and spirituality the constraint? Which of the two makes
I'll
big
tell you
difference? Yes.
that we should not exclusively fly into spirituality so much that my material responsibility suffers. I must try to integrate both, bridge both my spiritual thing as well as the material thing. See? When my mind says something which is about all calculated thing, all logical thing, not this, not that, maybe this, maybe not that, and heart will also have its own ideas, own feelings, own direction. But the beauty would be when both agree, what we call eclipse of conscience. When both agree, mind also agrees, heart also agrees. That will be the best decision. Often I have found during my business days, and more so now, while I'm practicing spirituality and and handling this great mission when I'm working with so many associates with different mindsets. So there are many hearts talking to me, many minds talking to me, just as in the business world. There are so many people telling you so many things. And you keep wondering, what decision should I make now? Out of so many hundreds of ways to encounter, there is always one, the best decision. Not other alternative decision is wrong. It may be good, but it is less effective. So idea is to come to the best decision which is good for majority. Sometimes certain decisions may not be good for majority, but it is good for the life of the company. What do I do under these circumstances? Simply, I don't take the decision for 2 days. I meditate. One girl came to me. She said, Daaji, I am in love with this boy. She's so emotionally charged up. She's bubbling with so much of joy. But my heart was telling her, something is not right. Something is wrong somewhere. But I didn't want to tell her all that in so many words, in black and white. I told her, wait for 6 months before you really go to bed with this fellow. Wait 6 months. Within this 6 months, you will come to know the real picture of this person, whether he really, really loves you or he had goal in mind, temporary goal to satisfy his senses, because you are so beautiful, you are naive, you are vulnerable, you are available. In less than 2 months, she called me, Daaji, you are right. I shouldn't have, given my heart. I said, in making decisions of this sort, don't become emotional. Use your heart again. If you calm down a little bit, calm down means settle your emotion and see your future with this person. How will it go? Similarly with the business world, similarly with having a partner. Use the heart. Spend time with this person, see how his habits, how he pays the bills in the restaurant, for example, how he goes and does the shopping, how he orders and chats with the family. The best interview, I think, when somebody says, instead of inviting a prospective employee for the company, invite the whole family and see how to behave.
You know what, you're saying something extremely important that I would like to emphasize before Dr. Bala speaks. We said you talk to your brain, you listen to your heart. The heart whispers. The brain is noisy. The heart whispers. In order to hear it, you have to calm down and slow down.
Slow down.
People don't fall in love chasing a bus. They don't fall in love trying to catch a flight. They fall in love walking down the beach in the sunset, no pressure. They fall in love on vacation. They fall in love with low lights and candles and soft music. That's when the heart talks. That's why meditation is so important, because you have to slow down to hear the heart. The heart does not talk with a big noise. Most of the people that are suffering from lack of love, that's why so many dogs per capita in a big city. You know why there is no love there? They all look for a dog to get love, because they're all in a rush. You want to fall in love? Slow down. You want to hear the heart? Slow down. And I tell to all my managers when I say, I make a major decision, I say, sleep over it at least one night. In the morning, your heart will tell you, is it right or not? I don't know whether it happens to you. Most of my insights I get either in meditation or I wake up in the morning. I wake up in the morning, bingo. Something happened. My heart talked to me. Why? Because I slept. I slow down. You cannot hear your heart when you are rushing. You cannot fall in love when you are rushing. The loneliness comes from rushing. You need to slow down. So I think that's very important. You made a very, very important point. In order for us to make a decision with the heart, we need to slow down.
I completely agree with you, both of you. I think uh, the heart is emotional and the brains or mind is rational. The rational and emotional have to come together. And that is why, I play tennis. The first thing is love all. Love all right. And second, I also see that even Jesus did not say, love thy Christian neighbor. He said, love thy neighbor. Hinduism did not say, Sarve Hindu Jana Sudhino Bhavantu. They said, Sarve Jana Sudhino Bhavantu. Whether it is a Muslim, Hindu, etc., all God's creation. Of course, there are different rivers, different oceans. That's what it is. Faith is different. But the end goal is same. And that goal is in the heart. And so, whatever analysis you make, whatever these things you do, it is like a multiple choice. Two questions in multiple choice are stupid. You can eliminate. But there are two other questions are very difficult. Both are seeming to be right. I want you to do the right things and not do things right. I just change the words. Do the right things. That is heart says. Do things right. Be diplomatic. Don't say everything. Keep something to you. Make a little white lie, and then white lie becomes gray lie. Then it becomes cheating, corruption. Well, if you say decide by your heart, but also we are saying do the right things. Right things will be difficult. Right things may not be rewarding. Right things may not give you the maximum money, but that doesn't matter.
Oh, wait. This is to hear this from a professor of accounting. I bow to you because accounting is, they know how to be precisely wrong. Accounting
Yeah,
is precisely wrong.
it is better to be
So,
approximately right rather
yeah,
than
no,
precisely wrong.
to hear it from a professor of accounting, I bow to you. I bow to you. That's very
So,
good point.
I really think, I think this thing is very important. When Ratan Tata, for example, had a sort of a terrorist dacoit in Nepal, he was really dying, and he wanted to admit him in the hospital because he's a human being, dacoit, and the government of India said, "Don't do it. He's a dacoit. Hand it over to him." All right, he said, "I will cure him and then hand it over to you." And they said, "We are going to put you in jail." Ratan Tata said, "All right, you put me in jail. My heart says help him. Let him first of all live. After that, you go to the justice." So do the right things, even if it is bold and at the same time brave. It may not give you the max, but I really feel people have to make the maximum money. I
But
tell
but
you why.
but watch it. There is a very important sentence I must share because we are right there in the flow. I hope commitment has a price.
Correct. Correct.
There is no commitment without price. There is no free lunch. People say I'm committed to do it to do on a diet, but I don't want to pay the price of being hungry and sacrificing the food I like. Well, you're not going to do it. How committed you are is measured by what is the price you're willing to pay. If you want to have a revolution in a country, you must be willing to pay the price of sacrificing your life. Many people say, I am going revolution. I had it with Iranians, some Iranians in Beverly Hills. Down, with Khomeini. I said, well, are you ready to go down there and fight and die? He says, no, I have a barbecue this afternoon. How deep is their commitment? They're not committed. So when people tell you they're committed, say, okay, tell me, are you willing to pay the price of your commitment? They say, I'm going to be spiritual, but I cannot sacrifice any money. You're not committed, my friend. It is all talk. All talk. Commitment is measured by price. What is the price you're willing to pay? That tells me your commitment.
That spiritual people who are not committed, they enjoy what is called as liquid spirituality. All right. And not real spiritual. But anyway, I really feel we got to be really, this is where, this COVID and other things show who is a leader and who is a manager. A manager works with the brain and what is diplomatically right, politically right, whereas a leader sacrifices and he does or she does what is heartful right.
Oh, wait,
If you
wait.
stand in your front of a mirror, am I standing tall or I am shirking or I am shrinking? If I am shrinking, that means I am not happy with the decision. It is politically right, but not by a man. So the true reflection comes to you. And that is where, in my opinion, yes, in the earlier stages of life, I want people to learn a lot and continue to learn with Coursera, etc. Then in the second part, you earn a lot. Why do I want to earn a lot? The world has only constant white money, let us say several trillions of dollars. There are two types of people: thieves, thugs, terrorists, mafiosis, and dacoits. And then another type of people: Daaji, yourself, Bala, all kinds of people, ordinary people. If we do, people say being materialistic is anti-spiritualistic. I don't believe that. If you don't make the money, but the normal people, then the terrorists will make the money. Is the money better off in their hands or in your hands? And if it is in their hands, death, destruction, and disaster. In your hands, there is a Heartfulness Institute, there is an Adizes Institute, there is a Great Lakes Institute, there is all kinds of educational healthcare institution, and you can do that. So therefore, in the long term, the final term, in our age, after 60 or 50, you return like anything. Earn, learn, first learn, earn EARN, then earn YEARN to return because you cannot carry with you. And so return that to whatever charitable thing that you can do. You will be standing tall, not only in the mirror, in the eyes of everybody. And when you die, at least three people will shed tears. Whereas if you are a scoundrel and a thug, people will say, "Thank God, this guy is gone."
You know what? I'm sorry, we are kind of overcoming, keep not getting dodgy, but one sentence to just follow what you're saying. Here, two professors now got lost. Whenever you say yes to somebody else against your heart, you're saying no to yourself.
That's
You
right.
say yes to them, no to yourself.
Yeah,
Don't do that. First, say yes to yourself, even if you have to pay the price to say no to them.
correct. Exactly right.
You have to be, first of all, say yes to your heart. So often, so often we want to please, we want to be part of the tribe, we want to be part of the picture. And we say no, you say yes to them, although your heart says no. And then you go home and you feel very bad. You're saying no to yourself. Don't say no to yourself. Say yes to yourself. You have to be, you have to live with your heart.
Yeah,
You have to live with your heart.
correct.
That's what the whole trick is.
That's
Beautiful,
why.
beautiful. We're
That's why.
learning a lot. We're learning a lot from this senior citizen, both 83 years of age. I mean, where can you have such lessons? You know, their entire life's juice, the essence of learning is being poured out for us. I mean, it's a tremendous learning from these two great persons who are very successful business-wise as a human being who has led us very successful individual lives. I mean, they talk with confidence all about the heart, and what do they gain by proposing the heart to us? They have nothing to gain.
You know, Kamlesh, there is a benefit of being old. There are many deficient, bad problems. The benefit is you don't give a damn what people think anymore. You just say what you believe because what the hell, you don't, you have so very little to live. So give it. You're free. You're old, you
Thank you.
become free. You're not afraid what people are going to say. You just say it. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And if you're right, you're right. everything becomes free. That's the beauty of being old. You don't.
Actually,
I'm not chasing a career. I'm not chasing anything anymore.
I
What is there to achieve now? Just to be myself. At the end of my life, I've compromised all my life to achieve things. Compromise, 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 compromise. At a certain point in time, you become old, you say, I don't want to compromise anymore. I want to be myself. Finally, I want to be myself. And if they don't like it, tough luck. I want to live with myself, first of all. Enough. I've done enough for the world. I want to do for myself something.
So
To find my heart.
when we really play a game and try to find a person to be a fall guy and finger yourself like this, I can tell you one finger is there, but three fingers are toward you. You are the bad guy, not that guy. So there is only one finger there. So let
No,
us
there is one more
understand.
finger. That,
Be your life.
there is one more finger. Look at this. You missed one finger. One finger is saying it's your problem. Three fingers are saying it's my problem.
Yeah.
And one finger says it's God's problem. Don't forget, God is playing a game here too, you know.
In God's problem, only Daaji can say that. I cannot say that. I'm still an ordinary guy.
God's problem
I'm
is
talking only this.
uncontrollable. It's not me, it's not you. Corona, what do you
Yeah, yeah.
want? You know, so what are we looking?
Absolutely right.
Always like to personify problems, you know, because we are not smart enough to see that there is a problem in the system. We try to find out a person we can accuse, aha, it's you. So if it's not this guy, it's God. If it's not God, it's the devil. If it's not the devil, we always have to personify the problem because that's the easiest way to get away from the problem. But I think it is, okay, so problem is to look at all of them. What is your fault? What is my fault? What is God's fault? I mean, things happen. And then you have to diagnose it in the right sequence. First, forget what is not controllable. Then, what did I do wrong? And now let's talk about you. This is the sequence has to be right. Anyway, we have, I think, the last minute here before we close.
I want to make one closing statement.
Yeah, no, we have 8 minutes more. We have 8 more minutes. Go ahead.
All of that we talked about it, but I really feel let us have a 360 view, and I talk about four sides because your analysis and then go to heart. Swami Vivekananda made awake and arise. I'm slightly modifying that. Awake with your insights, what did not work. Arise with your hindsights, past and what gave you the current status and whatnot. Avoid any oversights. There can be all kinds of problems. And astonish the world with your foresight. And that's it. If you have that, your business will be all right. And now the COVID has given more time to understand our own family. Now we are recognizing the value of the family. So with passion, I would like to put compassion. With the abilities, I would like to put humility. With the mobility, I would like to put nobility. And with success, I want to put integrity. If these are there, God will be there for us all the time. And decide by your heart, but analyze by your brains. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay.
To both Daaji and Adizes, and especially to Harpreet, who trained me what to talk and what not to talk.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
for having us. Thank you.
Daaji,
Okay,
you probably want to say something before we close.
Well, only one conclusion, one single statement that heart is the center of consciousness. Meditate over it and see what you understand by this little statement that the heart is the center of consciousness.
Yeah. Okay. And my conclusions from this exchange is it reinforced the importance of meditation for me. Because we live in a world where the stimuli are enormous, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. Before you know it, it's already time to go to sleep. Where the day went by. Everybody is rushing. The moment you woke up your eyes, open your eyes, till you close your eyes, what were you doing? You're not managing. You're being managed by stimuli. Do this, telephone call, this problem, that problem. What's happening? Your heart is quiet. The art is gone because the external world puts so much pressure on our brain that we give all the time to the brain and zero time for the heart if we do not meditate. In order to identify the heart, in order to give space for the heart to speak, we need to meditate. Stop. Just stop. And the heart will talk to you. And if we do not listen to the heart, 5 minutes before we die, we say, oh my God, where was I in this life? Where was I? Where did it go? Where did my life go? By the way, this is personal what I'm telling you. I'm 83 years old and I said to myself, where did my life go? So I wrote 26 books. Who the hell cares? Where was I in these 83 years? Where was I? So I served my clients. So I served the world, but I did not serve myself. I was not in touch with my heart. You know something? I wasted 83 years, but I'm not going to waste my next 3 years. Today is the day, first day of the rest of my life. And I'm going to do the meditation. I'm going to do the meditation by golly. I'm going to do it and I need help and I'm going to call for help because we need to stop and find ourselves. We lose ourselves in this world, in this turbulence. As we are swimming the waves, we forget who we are.
Well,
and then our decisions are wrong.
Dr. Adizes, Dr. Bala, and my offer to all the audience. After 15 minutes, if you feel like joining, I'll be sitting here and meditating. You can also join this group meditation from wherever you are and experience it. And for those who have never meditated, I would recommend just think that a lot of love is present in your heart. That divine love is there. It's attracting your attention inward. And I'll be transmitting to you from here. That will enhance your spiritual experience. So let's meditate together after 15 minutes. Sit like that for 15 to 20 minutes, that's all. And if you still have some questions after that, you can write to us and try and explain the way forward.
Thank you very much. We have to stop
Thank
on
you very
time
much.
because we have to be right on time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you next time.
I'll be back in 15 minutes. I want people to dream big, decide quick, and deploy brisk. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, what can I say? Deep, deep, deep gratitude with all that wisdom that has been flowing unabashedly, freely for all of us to take full advantage. I once again repeat for all the viewers, and you may even ask your families to sit down together with you, anybody above 15 years of age. In about 15 minutes from now, if you can just sit at home and just think of divine love in your hearts and that it's attracting you within with your eyes closed for 15-20 minutes, and make full use of the transmission, the yogic transmission that Daaji will be transmitting from Kana. So
I have to go.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you very much, Professor Bala. And all the viewers, please stand by for some important information, which I'm going to share with you right now. Thank you very much. Once again, gentlemen, thank you so much. You really made our day.
Thanks
So we have a lovely news to share with all the viewers that this series of Managing the Heart will continue with special guests. And this week we had Professor Bala just now. And next week we have none other than Mr. Suresh Prabhu. He's a member of Parliament of India. He's a former union minister, and he's currently the Prime Minister's Sherpa for G7 and G20. So Mr. Prabhu will be joining us, and the theme will be around the role of heart in public life, in politics. So I think that's another area to explore, the managing with the heart. Uh, we invite you most humbly and lovingly to adizes.com/heartfulness, the Heartful Adizes page. And that has all the previous episodes as well as free books, resources that you may find useful. Please, by all means, do that. You may want to contact Adizes directly for webinars, or online courses, in-company support, or get in touch or buy Dr. Adizes' books, or get his free insights, his weekly insights, which he really writes with a lot of heart. I think you'll all enjoy it. Heartfulness, you can connect deeply with heartfulness in multiple ways. There's an app, a free app that you can download from both iOS as well as Android stores. And you can have on call a trainer as well as learn how to meditate, the meditation that the three gentlemen were talking about, which can be a game changer. There's a beautiful magazine, Heartfulness magazine. It's published every month. Currently, the digital version is available, and very soon the print version will be back on when circumstances allow. There's master classes as well as webinars. Multiple webinars are happening: Pearl webinar, Glow webinar, Wellness webinar, which are being offered freely for the benefit of all. And finally, for the current times, there's a COVID relief fund, we call it CORE, which is giving out food and all subsistence to the underprivileged. And very important, Voice That Cares helpline, which is a toll-free number, 1-800-121-3492. So anyone in need of support, there'll be a heartfulness trainer on the other end who will help and guide. And we do a universal prayer every night. So once again, we invite you for the meditation in about 10 minutes from now, live meditation, and have an experience of a lifetime in that, as well as please do join us live again next week, same time, same link with a new guest. Thank you. Good day. Bye-bye.